Eyewitness testimony has long been regarded as a cornerstone of the criminal justice system, often considered a powerful form of evidence capable of providing unique insights into the circumstances surrounding a crime. The idea that a witness can recall specific details about an event they observed has made eyewitness accounts a staple in courtrooms across the globe. However, the reliability of such testimony has come under increasing scrutiny, especially with the advent of forensic science and psychological research that highlights the fallibility of human memory. Historically, the reliance on eyewitness testimony dates back centuries, with its roots embedded in the legal traditions of many cultures. The word of a witness was often considered sufficient to establish the truth of a matter. Ancient legal systems, such as those of the Romans and Greeks, placed significant weight on the accounts of individuals who claimed to have witnessed events. This practice continued into the modern era, where eyewitness testimony has been pivotal in numerous high-profile cases. However, the 20th and 21st centuries have witnessed a paradigm shift in our understanding of memory and perception. Landmark cases, such as the wrongful conviction of Ronald Cotton in the 1980s, brought to light the potential pitfalls of relying solely on eyewitness accounts. Cotton was wrongfully convicted of rape based on the testimony of the victim, who later identified him in a police lineup. After serving over a decade in prison, DNA evidence ultimately exonerated him, highlighting the critical need for a reevaluation of how eyewitness testimony is perceived within the legal system. To understand the reliability of eyewitness testimony, it is essential to delve into the psychology of memory. Memory is not a perfect recording of events, rather, it is a reconstructive process influenced by various factors. Cognitive psychologists have identified several key elements that can compromise the accuracy of eyewitness accounts. One significant factor is stress and trauma. Witnessing a crime can induce significant stress, impairing the ability to accurately recall details. Research has shown that high-stress situations can lead to weapon focus, where a witness's attention is drawn to a weapon rather than the perpetrator's features, resulting in incomplete or distorted memories. The passage of time can also affect memory recall. As time elapses, the details of an event may fade, leading witnesses to fill in gaps with inaccurate information. This phenomenon, known as memory decay, can significantly impact the reliability of eyewitness accounts, especially in cases where a substantial amount of time has passed between the crime and the testimony. Additionally, the misinformation effect occurs when a witness is exposed to misleading information after an event, which can alter their recollection. For instance, if a witness hears others discussing the crime or sees news reports that include inaccuracies, their memory may be unintentionally influenced, leading to the incorporation of false details into their account. Interestingly, there is often a disparity between a witness's confidence in their recollection and the actual accuracy of that memory. Studies have shown that witnesses who are highly confident in their testimony are not necessarily more accurate. This disconnect can lead to juries placing undue weight on a witness's confidence rather than the factual correctness of their account. The rise of forensic science has revolutionized the criminal justice system, providing tools that can objectively corroborate or contradict eyewitness testimony. Forensic evidence, such as DNA analysis, fingerprinting, and ballistics, offers a scientific basis for evaluating the facts of a case. This shift towards a more empirical approach has illuminated the limitations of relying solely on human memory. DNA analysis is perhaps the most significant advancement in forensic science, providing a definitive means of identifying individuals involved in a crime. Cases that once hinged on eyewitness testimony have been overturned by DNA evidence, leading to the exoneration of wrongfully convicted individuals. The Innocence Project, a non-profit organization dedicated to exonerating the wrongfully convicted, has documented numerous cases where DNA evidence has overturned flawed eyewitness identifications. Fingerprint analysis has long been used as a method of identification in criminal cases. While not infallible, it offers a more objective means of linking a suspect to a crime scene. Unlike eyewitness accounts, which can be influenced by perception and memory, fingerprint analysis relies on the unique patterns present on an individual's fingers, making it a more reliable form of evidence. Ballistics analysis examines firearms and ammunition to determine if a specific weapon was used in a crime. This type of forensic evidence can provide crucial information that either supports or contradicts eyewitness testimony. For instance, if a witness claims to have seen a particular weapon used in a crime, ballistics evidence can confirm or refute that assertion. Furthermore, forensic evidence can provide context that enhances the understanding of a case. When combined with eyewitness testimony, forensic evidence can help establish a more comprehensive narrative of events, ensuring that the judicial process is based on a well-rounded understanding of the facts. Numerous case studies illustrate the complexities surrounding eyewitness testimony and forensic evidence. One notable example is the case of Gary Dotson, who was wrongfully convicted of rape in 1977, based primarily on eyewitness testimony. The victim later recanted her identification, and DNA evidence ultimately exonerated Dotson after he spent over 6 years in prison. This case, along with others, has prompted legal scholars and practitioners to advocate for reforms in the way eyewitness testimony is treated in court. Another significant case is that of Timothy Cole, who was wrongfully convicted of rape in 1985 based on the testimony of the victim. Cole died in prison, maintaining his innocence until his death. In 2009, DNA evidence identified another man as the perpetrator, leading to Cole's posthumous exoneration. These cases highlight the potential for grave miscarriages of justice when relying solely on eyewitness accounts without the support of forensic evidence. In response to the growing body of research on the unreliability of eyewitness testimony, many jurisdictions have begun to implement reforms aimed at improving the accuracy of eyewitness identifications. These reforms often focus on the procedures used during police lineups and the training of law enforcement personnel. One effective reform is the use of double-blind lineups, where neither the witness nor the officer administering the lineup knows the identity of the suspect. This approach minimizes the potential for unintentional cues or biases that could influence the witness's identification. Providing standardized instructions to witnesses before they view a lineup can help reduce the pressure to make an identification. Witnesses should be informed that the perpetrator may not be present in the lineup, which can alleviate the stress of feeling compelled to identify someone. Recording the entire identification process, including the witness's initial statement and their subsequent identification, can provide valuable documentation for the court. This transparency can help assess the reliability of the identification and the procedures used. Allowing expert testimony on the limitations of eyewitness memory can provide juries with a better understanding of the factors that can influence accuracy. This knowledge can help jurors weigh eyewitness testimony more critically and consider it alongside forensic evidence. The reliability of eyewitness testimony is a complex issue that intertwines psychology, law, and forensic science. While eyewitness accounts can provide valuable insights, they are inherently fallible and subject to various influences that can distort memory. As the legal system continues to evolve, it is imperative to integrate both eyewitness testimony and forensic evidence to achieve a more accurate understanding of events. The advent of forensic science has revolutionized the way we approach criminal investigations, offering objective measures that can corroborate or contradict eyewitness accounts. High-profile cases of wrongful convictions have underscored the need for reforms that prioritize accuracy and fairness in the judicial process. By implementing best practices and fostering a deeper understanding of the limitations of human memory, we can work towards a more just legal system that upholds the principles of truth and accountability. In conclusion, while eyewitness testimony remains a significant aspect of the criminal justice system, it is essential to approach it with caution and to recognize its limitations. By combining the strengths of both eyewitness accounts and forensic evidence, we can enhance the integrity of the judicial process and work towards ensuring that justice is served accurately and fairly.